Dorota, for over a year now, I've been begging you to leave me alone, but you keep insisting in invading my life. The agreement we had after we broke up is that you don't touch my visa and I'll donate my sperm on the premises that I bear no responsibilities on a potential kid. There's no financial obligations or any associations with the potential child. This premises was truly based on trust. You didn't want to get government involved and in what I'm doing, which is donating, because you're going to keep your word and it's going to be your word versus mine. And I trusted that you kept your words because you're a very honest person and you don't lie, Dorota. As months went by, you kept contacting me. You kept contacting me for on weekly basis, not every day, but weekly basis for sure. But you always need something, and I'm an idiot. I still complied. You later on insist that you could help me with the bird, bringing Pearl back to Europe. You had good arguments. I didn't have good arguments, so I agreed. So that way we don't argue. I complied in the directions that you watch the bird while I find a place in which allow me to have pets. You wanted it, you agreed with it, you insisted, I agreed to it. Don't want to argue about it. Okay. Now you're watching the bird, and then you demand me to drive you to Luxembourg from Poland because you don't know how to drive. That's later on. I agreed, I complied. Once again, you needed me to for sperm donation in Poland. This is later on. Once again, I agreed, complied. But this time, this is winter, and this is the last time I would travel to you. Where I told you that I'm not traveling to donate sperm to you anymore because you're. I didn't give you that reason, but you're hindering my relationship. All right, it looks like I'm spending more time with you than my potential girlfriend. Then, anyways, eventually I went to US, and you somehow found out that I'm there with my girlfriend. While I was in US, you dug deep into it and assumed that I have cheated on you. You called me a billion times. Eventually, I picked up just to tell me that I lied to you. First of all, I've never cheated on you. We weren't together. So that's number one. Second of all, I should have cheated on you, and I should have done it in front of you just to hurt you like you're killing me at the moment. You called me later on to tell me that there's someone in my family who supports you with all of this and gave you my girlfriend's information. But you would not reveal who that person is. They especially told you not to tell me. And of course, I know you're an honest person. I know you're a person that keeps your word, and you will never reveal who that person is. That's fine. I'll accept that because you're an honest, trustworthy person. However, when I told you I will no longer comply with your sperm donations unless you have my family member contact me and admit that it was them that told you or gave up my girlfriend's information, you stated that that was a hoax. You lied to me, and it is my girlfriend herself that gave up all of this information from her social media. Um, that is a stupid lie to make. First of all, if your excuse to hurt me that you lied to me by somehow finding out that you lied to me, it's going to hurt me, that is a fucking stupid thing to lie about. I don't know how you think that will hurt me, but whatever. The fact that you lied, it didn't hurt at all. Instead, you lost the only thing we had to stand on. The only ground you had is the trust, and you broke that damn trust. I trusted you that when it comes time to donate the sperm to get a baby, it would get it wouldn't get back to me. But I can't trust you anymore since you're a liar. Instead of what's happening now, you started harassing my girlfriend. Somehow you got all her information. You called her, you text her, you emailed her, assuming that she's the one that's blocking you. She was supportive in all of this. No one's blocking you. You are blocking you. I can't trust you anymore, Dorota. I can't comply. You're threatening to sue us if we don't comply to your demands. You're going around telling people that you are being used or you were used. Dorota, you were never used. In order to use someone, I had to have some sort of plan. I, knowing me, I don't think far ahead. I don't know how to do that. I truly believe that you were the last woman I'd ever date. You were the last woman for me. I believed that at one point. I did everything there is to do for a man to do to be with you. I assumed everything was my fault because of my psychosis. I saw dozens of therapists, therapists that dealt with PTSD, anger management, ADHD, psychiatrists, couples therapists. There's few of them. We went to even few of them. And this has been going on for several years. And after 2 years of being together, two and change, and in recent months, you were the cause of most of my psychosis, most of it. I didn't plan to leave you the way I did and when I did. I came to a realization that I was sick and tired of walking on eggshells around you. We argued. I had to wake up early in the morning to make you breakfast, but I had to get up before you had to go to work. I had to get up before you had to go to work. I had to wait until you wake up. You had to take a shower, and once I see the shower stopped running, only then I could start making you toast and other things that you needed for breakfast. You needed that every morning, and I did it. Sounds romantic. However, it doesn't sound romantic because you argued with me to do that for you every damn morning. There was an at early before the relationship, early on in the relationship, we argued that this is what you want because I'm not working. At least I have some sort of responsibility to do for you. And now, finally, eventually, I it, I started doing that out of a habit. But I did it so that way we wouldn't argue anymore. And I did it all the time just to avoid an argument. While I was home, you demanded that I do some chores at home because you're working. I'm not. Some things that need to be done. Just chores at home. Do the dishes, clean the house, just prepare. So that way I can just sit at home doing nothing. Okay, I did that. I did that almost every day in the beginning, and I realized that if whether I do it or not, especially if you have a shitty day at work, you'll come home and you take it out on me. You know that because we argued about that. I did it so that way we could avoid an argument, but yet we still argued. I did it just to have a peace and quiet, but yet you insisted in fucking arguing. There was a point I started asking if it's okay with you if I went to bed early. The reason I started asking, I realized that there's times that when you have to work, you come home from work and then you have to continue to work because I don't know why. You you um, you were distracted during work, whatever the case is. You continue doing work from home. I started asking you, is it okay if I go to bed now? Even though it's early, yes, I want to go. I want to go to bed. The reason I want to go to bed, I don't want to hang around with you to give you a reason, something to say, ask something, to say something, then you'll overthink it and you'll find something to argue about. So, is it okay if I go to bed early? That was the habit. The habit was to ask permission to go to sleep. That's the guy you turned me into. If you're wondering why I left the relationship, these are the reasons why. I no longer did things I wanted to do for you. I did things just to avoid an argument. I did things just to avoid another fight. But later on, after some time, I realized it was useless. You're just an argumentative person. You have ways to make yourself look like a victim. You're very good at that. That's why you're probably a great lawyer. You always found something to argue about. Why is that in your nature? I don't understand. So I left. And when I left, I begged you to leave me alone, but you didn't. So I blocked you. I won't unblock you until, and I'm hoping that is the family member that gave up my girlfriend's information, and not that you lied. There's still hope for me. There's still hope for you that you're still an honest person, because I want to help you in going through this. I want to, but losing trust, you're giving me no hope here. Now that you got my girlfriend's information, you started harassing her. You're threatening us to sue, to get that we're going to get sued if we don't comply for your so-called baby demands. Then you started to have your friend Phil contacting me. But like I said, I won't unblock you until, and I'm hoping it is the family member that gave you my girlfriend's information, and have them contact me and admitting it was them, and only then you could regain my trust. But until then, there's nothing I want to say to you or hear from you. Nothing. I don't want to hear. I don't want to deal. I don't want to hear your excuses. Now, about lying, I admit I lied. Yeah, I lied. Um, I lied to you when we broke up. Yeah, I lied to you because you were suicidal. You told me and you begged me not to hurt you because you couldn't help to control yourself. That if you found out I had another woman, you would threaten that you would kill yourself if you found out I had someone. So yeah, I couldn't tell you I had a girlfriend. I had to lie to you to protect you from you. I didn't want you to hurt yourself. Honestly, I regret that now. I should have told you the day I started dating my lady. Whether it meant that you will kill yourself. And I would probably never have to deal with you ever again after that. And if I have ever have to travel again to see you, it would probably be at your funeral. And that would have been the best outcome for me if I was really honest with you. But no, but like a bitch that I am, I was worried about you killing yourself. So I lied to protect you. I'm like a fucking idiot. I have to deal with your shit right now. So no, I'm not unblocking you. You know what you have to do to gain my trust. Contact a family member. Have them admit they told you, gave you her information. Only then I will continue with your demands, like an idiot that I am. The last thing I want to say to whoever's listening to this, one of the reasons it's on YouTube, when Dorota talks to me, she tells me that she listens to all her friends, and none of her friends say this or all her friends saying that. Sometimes she does the opposite, whatever the case she's saying. Knowing Dorota, she is very good, very fucking good, making herself look like a victim. Very fucking good. I'm not a victim here. I did what I had to do. I did my best, and it wasn't good enough, so I left. Relationships end. It happens. She just can't bear the fact that she was replaced by another person. Calls her a bimbo, and then expects my lady to comply with her demands and to be okay that I am traveling to Poland to donate the sperm. She has to deal with all of this shit, and Dorota has to call her names. Yeah, I will call Dorota names. So if you're Dorota's friend, you're listening to this, Know the fact that she's a good person on the surface. She's a narcissist on the inside. She's very good. She's a very good lawyer, probably one of the best, because she's very fucking good making herself look like a victim. Because if none of you see that, and only those that are in a relationship with her see that. The other thing I want to say is that she's threatening me that this is her last chance on having a child, and I am stopping her from this. She's also telling me that she is sick and she's dying. She doesn't have much time left. Assuming it's cancer related, I'm not sure. She used that excuse for a while now, and I'm assuming she still uses that as an excuse now. She doesn't want to tell me anymore about what she's dealing with, but it's okay. I don't want to hear it. She's assuming that she's reaching menopause soon because her symptoms are could indicate she's getting early menopause. Okay. She also assumes that no guy around my age wants to date a woman around her age. So she uses that as an excuse. But she doesn't use herself as an excuse that the reason a lot of men don't want to date her, or a lot of men early on in a relationship realize this girl is a red flag. No, that's not an excuse for her. Her excuse is that men date younger women, and I'm the result of that. Yeah, men date younger women. While I was in my early 30s, I dated a woman who was 55. I don't care about age. I care about who you are as a person. Don't care about looks. If you're still listening to this, we had an argument that I have to comply with her needs. One of the needs is that it doesn't have to make sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to me, but I have to comply with her needs. She had hundreds of them. And I told her I wouldn't comply. If it doesn't make sense to me, I wouldn't comply. And I'll give you an example. She wanted me to clean the bird's cage every day. She wanted me to clean the bird cage every day, and I didn't understand it. Why? It's the cage is not dirty because we use wee pads, which is plastic, and it's a lot of it's a lot of pollution if we just use that. She goes, no, I want you to clean it every day, and we had an argument with that because this is one of her needs. Because I usually clean it every other day, but no, she wanted me to do it every day. We argued. It didn't make sense to me, but it's one of her needs. I don't need to understand it. It's just one of her needs. I'm like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'll do it. I was throwing out clean wee wee pads. There's not a there's not a feces on it. I had to pick it up, throw it out. I just didn't understand it. It's her fucking need. Months later, I found out that the reason she wants me to clean up after the bird is because when the bird eats and she eats fruit and the fruit will fall, that smell, she can't stand it. So that's later on in the day, not early in the morning. So that later on in the day, she basically, I realized she wanted me to clean it so that way it doesn't that fruity sweet flavor, rotten fruity sweet flavor doesn't stay in the house for so much. Okay, couldn't explain that, you piece of shit. But we had to argue about it. Very needy, very complex person. Hearing sensitivity. Holy shit, dude. I couldn't blink without her hearing it. Just a nasty person to be with, man. Great friend. Honestly, great friend. She'll go out of her way to help you, but she won't. She will demand something back later on if you don't. If you don't do the things she says she wants you to do. I have no other words to say now. I think there's a lot more, but I think I've vented enough.